Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy NoAiz back again with more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Do we start like that always? I don't even know anymore. But hey, anyways, we're back. Hopefully investigation will go smoothly this time. Probably not, but we hope, you know. It's not bad to hope, even if it's copium. Anyways, we're gonna do it. Wait, let me just set my things up so I can see everything. And alright, we'll continue. Oh yeah, we're bringing Jake Marshall to the stand. February 24, 12:14 p.m. District Courtroom number 9. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back. Where did Emma go? Oh, because this was related to SL9, which was the case that somehow also involved Emma, and I guess she has some trauma about it. So she's not well enough to be here, I guess, in NoAiz. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. Is he? As per my name, if you can listen hard now, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall. Your Honor. Edward has given up on getting names out of his witnesses and just decides, hey, I'm just gonna introduce you, okay? We're not gonna say shit anyway, so... Howling wind? I never heard Edward described that way before. Now Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day that the crime took place. I cannot read. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime, in plain old English. I think he is speaking in English. And old English. Just not our region's English, I guess. My job was to keep a wary eye on the bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Boy, you're out of a job because you neglected it. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. Hi Graham, welcome. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence drawers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, it's all yours. Alright. What exactly do we want from him? We press this one. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course! Back in that day, my locker was a goldmine of evidence. And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Oh, now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon. Okay. Let's press this. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Spaghetti! Not even Angel steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongoli sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? It's not just noodles. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. Or fire him from his job, like literally. You can do that. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want a raise this year?" Did you not want a raise this year? Because he's getting fired. Doesn't have to. I'm sure that's like reason for to be what is it? What is the word? I wanted to say executed, but that's not it. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Oh. Ain't you heard the word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. Hi, Kasari. No desperado I know lets the rules get in his way. No desperados I know join the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Right? Like, they could fire him. He's literally like not doing his job at all. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security, okay. Do I present his fingerprints? Is that a thing? The print had been... Oh, this one. No? Oh. Okay, not that one. Not sure what we're trying to contradict here. Or maybe there's nothing to contradict and I just need to press everything. So let's do that first, I guess. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall. That's right, partner, or as you call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I'd better up the ante. Alright, so my job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orphan. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitored that room so still. Even time dice in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You mean, you interred them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time comes, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6. That's too soon. You should at least keep the recordings for a day or two, or a week even. That would be useful. Because if something happened and you didn't know that something happened until like a few days later, then that would be oofers, bro. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room? Alright, so I'm supposed to like give him something. Let me see my my clues. I'm not sure. I'd better up the ante. Am I supposed to prove that he was there? Oh, there you go. I just didn't put it on the right statement. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Isn't real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, I make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. Yes. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood! Witness, what is the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the scene of the crime, in the crime scene. The blood was wiped away, however. A luminal test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall, it seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? I have an explanation too as to why I know it's you. Because in the scene, the cloth sticking out of the locker wasn't there until like after the man disappeared, which means it was just opened at the time of the video, and that locker belongs to Marshall, and he's the only one who can open it because of the fingerprints. Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Bloodstained fingerprints. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my handprint was by chance. The blood-stain and fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. Yes. True. I think the real murderer is wearing gloves. This boy, no. But he isn't the murderer. He was just the one wrestling with Meekins in the evidence room. The witness explanation appears valid, though there's room for doubt. My life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, PARDNER. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. I know it! He's hiding something. I know, Phoenix. Now's my chance to prove it. Which exactly are we cross-examining? I'm not sure if I'm supposed wait, let's save since I'm not sure if this is the time for me to show the video. No, it was not. Okay. I'm gonna press this first. Unrelated. They are as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast while the other's a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Okay. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. I can't let him screw on this one. Decisive to tie him to the crime. I'm gonna press everything just in case. Alright. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right, and that and one more thing. The locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I oh, alright, and this is what we're going to pin it on him. Because we know it's his locker and it couldn't have been opened at the time the video was taken if it wasn't him. Okay. All that's in there now though is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints were all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Alright. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. And there's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. Well then, ha ha ha! Fuck you, Marshall, I can prove you wrong. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Wait, fuck it! Shut up! Shut up, Judge! Shut up! I have evidence! Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Present actually. Actually, Marshall, you were in the fucking video, you fucking... Oh, fuck. Alright. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to, like, give my evidence, so... What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. No, Phoenix, I actually have the clues. The blind spots? Places you can't see. Yeah, this camera is not efficient. You should have more cameras in stationary positions instead of panning back and forth. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. I have fucking evidence! Let me show my evidence! Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Show evidence. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Heh. You fucking bitch. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Fuck you too, Edgeworth, okay? Well, actually, you know... you can fuck Phoenix, why not? Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence. Fast forward. It's like right before the end. They have to like have a wrestling match first. Alright. Then I'm gonna pause it here. There we go, percent. There! How's that for evidence? Please allow me to apologize for my colleague, Your Honor. He gets carried away sometimes. No, it's right! Well, this certainly isn't the first. Will you forgive him too, Officer Mark? He's not a bad man, just a bit delusioned. Damn, Edgeworth's apologizing for me. I can feel that he loves me. Well, of course, I'm not one to gun down unarmed boys. Oh great, now Edgeworth is defending me. Guess that means no, but I'm right! But I'm right! I'm gonna save because I only have one more life, and that means I'm dying next time. I'm right! I know I'm right! They're not letting me. Maybe it's the thing. It's the... Maybe I'm not supposed to put it on the locker. I'm supposed to put it on the thing. On the actual whatever is hanging on there. Bringing our attention back to the security camera. It's a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Alright, very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Is that 8 words? That is 8 words! Exactly 8 words, not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Let's go! Oh, the white cloth is gone! What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order, order! It would seem that's you. Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Oh my god, he doesn't know about the fingerprint thing. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened in the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? Because you're dumb. This guy isn't just plain dumb. He really doesn't know! I thought he was going to say he really is dumb. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah, I call your bluff. You say I opened the locker, now prove it. A fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. And there are even some people in the force that doesn't know about the fingerprint locks. So share it! What do you have to say? In 8 words or less, let's go! What's that? Is that a jerky? What's that? I only got one word for you, partner. No! I've only got one word for you, partner. That's 8 words and plus 1. Order, order, order! Witness, please explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst joke that I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Ole, please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Kinda. I'm not sure his motive, but I can assure you I kinda know how he got in there. Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall, because Officer Marshall was fucking the other boy. If so, then there was the witness. It seems that Mr. Wright has an answer. I'm sure you know it, Edward. Why don't you just say it? That's right. The only possible conclusion. Also, me proving all of this is just implicating that Mia actually did kill, Bruce Goodman. Right? Yeah, Bruce Goodman in the prosecutor's office, because there's no actual murder that happened in the evidence room. Well then, did I say Mia? Did I say Lana? No, I definitely did not say Lana. I did say Mia. I meant Lana, Emma's sister. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time? He was the victim here. Because the killer is Meekins, right? Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. You've got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? I mean, multiple circumstantial evidence is kind of like evidence, you know? So, you're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Sure, but I'm only here to convince the audience and the judge. So, who cares about your opinion, bitch? Unless you have a hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. You already said that twice. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond the shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. That's true, I don't really... Not that he dressed up, no. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems like you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. Edward, help me out, baby. It's so obvious. He's the one. What can I do? Edward! Edward, let's go! It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. Oh shit, are you helping me, Edward? Or are you just mocking me right now? I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? What does that mean? What's the basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. That's not fucking helping me right now, Mia. But I miss you. You were so hot and so dead. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think his locker, this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Oh, he's trying to hide something. So, you fucking bitches, what this means is we're gonna have someone look at what's left in the locker. What they hid there. Yet he did, despite the chance it might have been discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense judgment, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. Probably to hide something. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. He's hiding evidence that could probably be traced to being in Bruce Goodman's possession. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. We don't have any evidence, so wait, what? Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. Alright, I'm gonna save here. Because I'm not sure what the white cloth must have been. Maybe something on his person then. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness... Okay. Is it clothed with his blood on it? Because it's not the gloves. Because it was bloodstained, right? For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edward. 2 years ago, if you were only as as persistent then as you were today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we? He was just a starting attorney. You couldn't, like, really fault him for what he was doing back then. Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. Alright. It seems the time has come. Alright. Wait, why are we in the testimony? Are we still looking for contradictions? I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas would be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Which proves that the real murder was in the prosecutor's office, which Lana committed. Okay. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Someone was... Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for a small donation. Oh shit, okay. So he's still lying? Alright, I'm just gonna press everything because I have no idea. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask PARDNER? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case lead detective can look through the evidence. Oh, and that's Bruce Goodman. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? Because he was a part of the SL9 incident, right? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID card. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. Well, you're going to be arrested now. So you did it to fool the security camera? And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filing out that lost item report. Wow, he filed that lost item report like immediately. Didn't even try to look for it. He returned his ID card and left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. True, so it was really just by lock. But he could, because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Wait, there's still a bloody handprint though. That has the bloody glove handprint that's behind the blue badger in the video. We couldn't see it there. Assuming that no one entered after it, after Meekins. There's a bloody thing that happened before they even were there. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins, so I knocked him out. You pulled the knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his race this year. Oh, nice. Nice! Meekins getting a raise! Yay! When did Gadget get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape and you... okay. So you did your research beforehand. I mean, he was working there. Even if he didn't do his research, he would have been very used to the cameras, especially when he was the one erasing the videos. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, PARDNER. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. Alright. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. It was gone, huh? It was probably gone, right? Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone, except for the glove, I guess. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Which evidence are we looking for? What evidence are we looking for? Because the vase is there. Is the vase part of it? Is the vase part of the thing? Because, I mean, when he opened it, the gloves were the only thing that fell, so I assume it's not in the locker. So, was the vase already broken? Where was this vase? Also, the knife that's found in the prosecutor's office, that's a thing. What else is SL9 like evidence? What are we looking for? Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing the detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. Well, he's like a patrolman, so... I think maybe he doesn't care anymore because he was a detective before and he got demoted. This will have serious consequences. I don't think he cares. He already doesn't do his job. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. It's not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. I don't think he cares, like I said. This isn't your case, this one's mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I just can't forget the SL9 incident. You know why? Why? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? I guess it wasn't solved in their hearts, Phoenix. That's probably why. That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. Oops. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Okay? What happened, Edward? You were there. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think is his real reason is. Do I know? I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files, okay? Alright, perpetrator Joe Dark, serial murder, sentenced death. Victims Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby! Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Oh, that's probably related. Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witnesses Lana Sky, Emma Sky. Oh, Emma is a witness. Executive investigators Damon Gaunt, Lana Sky. Head investigators Bruce Goodman, Jake Marshall, Angel Star. Alright. Alright, proceed. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. We didn't know his motive until this point. I forgot to check out. I should have checked that out. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, Pod. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In the list of murder victims. You know, Edgeworth could have said this because he was the prosecutor in that case. He obviously knows that Jake? Was it Jake? Yeah, it's Jake. Jake Marshall's motive was because his whatever, someone, father, brother, cousin was murdered in this case. Neil Marshall, are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Wait, Edward doesn't know. Edward, you were the prosecutor! Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. Edward, why are you surprised? You were the prosecutor in the case! 2 years ago. Look at Lana. Lana's pretty. I actually like Lana more than Mia. Mia's hot, but Lana looks younger, even though I think Lana is actually older than Mia because she's a senpai to Mia. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. Oh, he was a prosecutor. What? A prosecutor? Must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. And now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. How the fuck did you not know that, Edward? Edward, this was your case? Even if you were like, even if like it was handed to you like afterwards, so you weren't there since the beginning, you should have known this. Edward. That's right, he was killed and the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. My bro! He was investigating the murders with Damon Gallant and Deputy Chief of Police. Look at Angel Star. Hot. She's hot. The group of detectives I was a part of work under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Oh, look at them. Those eyes. It kind of reminds me of Damon Gallant. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. Oh. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. Ooh. Alright, so they didn't have evidence back then as to convict Dark, but then he killed this prosecutor, and that left a lot of evidence, I guess. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. We have a lot of siblings in this one. We have Lana and Emma, this guy and his brother, Mia and Maya, but they're not here actually, so I guess technically 2 siblings. And that's it? And that's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try and hide it, you can't fool me. Okay. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. Yep, no murder happened there. Wait, no, actually, a murder did happen there. It's not the prosecutor's office, because there's no blood there. That was the last day of the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall's planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Yep. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time, the murder at prosecutor's office. The fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's got to be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means the only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky. But wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Well, the verdict wasn't reached because we have this, which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky, and the testimony of one, Miss Angel Star, is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Yes. Arg. Edward! I thought you loved me! I rest my case. It seems that this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera tape was really fake. But I didn't realize I'd be proving that Lana would be guilty. That would end up proving Lana guilty! Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. The defendant is... Who's holding it? Oh, Emma.
Your Honor, wait!
Emma?
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, Wright? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? No, but, sure.
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edward, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Wow! Alright, Edward being nice.
I was kind of in a shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file.
But that's when they figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
Yeah, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there again and looked at it again.
So did you find something?
No.
Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
No, I actually know what the proof here is now. During the time, the Blue Badger was in front of the locker. So the handprint should have been there before the Blue Badger was put there. But also I'm questioning Meekins for not noticing the blood print if that was the case. Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
Yeah, but you're wasting everyone's time. And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy! I already know what to show. Alright, come on. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Yes!
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if we can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If I've ever needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I object! Objection! This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction! The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes! Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at this floor plan. Something is missing. Missing? You mean there's something hasn't been drawn on here? Yes, the Blue Badger, I guess he's talking about. Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. We could also just ask. Who Marshall if he touched Gumshoe's locker, or if he had gloves, if he had bloody gloves, right? Cause I mean, he opened the locker with his hands, so I assume his hands were bloody and there were prints, so that means he wasn't wearing gloves, and that this bloody handprint is not related to him, which means it was made before. But how recent is it? Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something missing? This one. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, the mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Or the time of the supposed crime, I guess. Well, what? That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? So that means, just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. Or it's done before it was placed there. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found in that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma,
on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in? But the blood traces were cleaned up? Was it cleaned up or not? I guess it was there. Can't we just like DNA test the blood to see if it was Bruce Goodman's or Meekins? Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice! Ha! One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Bruce Goodman, Detective Goodman, when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. Oh no, we're also implicating Edward in this because he came in before Meekins. So then assuming this murder you pervert really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. Before the thing. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being caught by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edwards said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? Can I save? No? Okay, well, we're here now. So it's either this I guess I'm just gonna do this. The crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh! The ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40. Miles Edward! Just what have you done? There's still another number on the top of Miles Edward's thing, bro. I never would have figured you out. You had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. I guess the time difference? I didn't see it. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test the blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means blood from the first crime was wiped away. Yep, we already knew that. Oh, or is he saying that he didn't have enough time to like clean up the crime scene? Then that could only mean it's the one before you by the real murder. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. We have someone who has 20 minutes to do it. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edward entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 77777777. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? He could enter with someone else, I guess. Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777777. He 77777 murdered that man, cleaned up the evidence room, carried that body to somewhere in just a span of 20 minutes. That's impressive in its own right. Mr. Edward, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I am unable to look up the owner of the ID card, at least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 777777 belongs to someone with the rank of a captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. Then we should ask the executives that we have a suspect in the executive position, and they should be willing to cooperate, because otherwise everyone would be accused of being a conspirator. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But this is an exception, right? But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? Hi Cloud9, welcome! You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you could keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 77777. Don't play with me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. I want to know is one thing about that incident. That's only incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Did you forge stuff? Do you need the witness to refute his question, Chief Prosecutor? Also, Lana's really pretty. I really like Lana. Lana is more my type than Mia, to be honest. Because I also like the fact that she's in uniform. Mia has her boobs out. I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana, she's admitting to forgery, huh? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the only ones being suppressed by the law. The defendant, what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes that require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. Oh, alright, well, she at least admitted to one crime. Technically two, because she's also admitting to murdering Bruce Goodman. See, that's what I'm talking about. No! No! Order, 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 order! Lana's remark caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion would have to wait until the following day. To be continued! Damn! I mean, it's early still, but I guess it's like a perfect time since it's like, you know, I want you guys to sleep. Tomorrow's a Monday. I don't think it's a holiday, so I don't think we have holidays in January. Who knows? I don't know. I might be wrong. But anyways,
that was it for. I guess. I was going to say the next stream would be the last. No, it's not the next stream. It's gonna be. It's day 3 now. So assuming we do the investigation in one day, although we tend to get stuck in the investigation part, so I don't think so. This should be done in at least 2 or 3 more streams. And then what are we gonna do? What am I going to do? Let me see if my charger will come here. I can't charge my controller in the right now. Well, I don't know how long it will be. I mean, I guess it will be in here in next week. But yeah, so next game, I don't want to play Nearer yet. We're gonna play it eventually. But I want to play something else before that. So let me check my library actually. Let's see. We should get back to the 999 sequel or whatever it is, the other game, sometime. But before that, wow, I have Cuphead, but I have the Danganronpa games, but I technically know it, so it's gonna be. I mean, I've never actually played it. But I would know some of it, so I think that kind of spoils the fun of that. So I guess not. I have Death Stranding. That's a long ass game though. Let's search for something that's short. I'm not really sure what would be a short game. I don't think I have any short games right now. Sadly, I want to get back into Not For Broadcast someday again, because we never really finished that one. We got into like episode 4 or at least broadcast 4 or something. Never again. Because I think I was having problems recording. We shouldn't have any more. Right? Wait, what was the problem with Not For Broadcast? Did I already... When did I last play Not For Broadcast? I have no idea. Did I already have my PC then? No, I played it again when I had my PC, right? Was it my internet causing problems? I think it was. Oh well. I'll check. Eventually. Do you want me to play the Persona games? So I heard that Persona 3 got released for the PC, but I really love Persona 3. I have to say, it was your internet. Yeah, it was my internet, so we never really got to finish it. I have good internet now, so that's not gonna happen anymore. So yeah, I heard Persona 3 is the thing now on the PC. Yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna buy it. I love Persona 3. It's my favorite Persona game. I mean, I know a lot of people will say, "Hey, Persona 5 is good." I agree. Persona 5, in terms of gameplay, style choice, it's just a really good game. You know, it's just really good visually, gameplay wise. Yeah, everything's nice, right? I just don't like the characters in that game as much, and I didn't really like the plot, or at least I at least I didn't really for what I've seen. I've not seen Persona 5 gameplay until the end. Okay, just to say this. For like, just to be clear, I have never seen the ending of Persona 5. So maybe I'm judging it too early. I've never seen the gameplay of Persona 5 till the end because I watched the playthroughs when Atlas still had that ban on playing the game to like a certain point. So no one played it to the end back then, but I'm sure now it's everywhere. We have Persona Royal on PC too, so I guess I could get that at some point maybe. But I don't want to buy like a big game again. But Persona is also really long. I do want to play Persona, but Persona is really long. It's like a 70-hour game. I mean, to be fair, Nier also is, but you know, it's like it's not the same. In Persona you really need to grind. In Nier you could go for the main story and it will be fine. In Nier you can just progress if you wanted to, but we don't really want to necessarily, so that's why we go around, because I don't want to miss stuff. But in Persona you just have to grind a lot of times. So that's why Persona is not a good game to stream, especially when we're just like streaming it for 3 hours like a week, you know? That's the only problem for me. But anyways, I have Persona 4 actually, which I'm kind of regretting. Like I have Persona 4 on my PC. I mean, like, I bought it on Steam. It was on sale. I bought it. I have it. I really don't like Persona 4. So I think I'm gonna refund it. I'm not sure. I might refund it because I've never played it, so I can still refund it. I I I don't like it because I just think the characters are shit in that game. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know someone who really likes that game. I've also never seen it till the end. Uh, just cause no one I've seen play it have ever actually finished it, so I also did not see it. But from what I've seen, the characters are shit. But I know a lot of people like Persona 4. You know, if you like it, you like it. I don't. I hate it. I hate it so much. I have no characters I like in that game. Except for Nanako, the little girl. There you go. But I have a lot of memories with Persona 3, the FES version, not the portable, the FES. So here's the problem. I really like Persona 3. I've also never finished it. I played it a lot, never finished it. I don't know how far I got into it, but I played it a lot. I grinded a lot in Tartarus. Never finished it. But you see, right now it's on PC, on Steam. But the version they made, the version they released is the portable version they released for the PSP. It's not the same, all right? And that's why I'm sad, because when I heard that the Persona 3 was going to be released on PC, I was like, oh my god, I can finally play it on stream or something, right? And then the Twitter people were complaining because they didn't put the anime cutscenes. So apparently the portable version, because it was for the PSP, there weren't a lot of memory, so they never put the anime cutscenes like you would see in Persona 5, right? If you've seen a Persona 5 gameplays, there's like anime cutscenes in between sometimes, right? So Persona 3 also had that on the PS2,
but they never had it on the PSP version because of memory, stuff. Just doesn't have enough space for it. So they never put it. And I'm really sad because those, they weren't the best quality animations, to be fair, but they were really good. I liked the style. I loved it. And so I think if I ever play Persona, I'm gonna play the FES version instead of the Steam version. So I'm probably not gonna buy it. But they're saying that they might actually do a remake of Persona, cause who knows? I wish they make a remake. I know the only difference I know with Persona FES and Persona Portable is that in Portable you have the choice between two characters. Like you can play as a girl or you can play as a guy, which is nice because if you want to seduce the boys, I guess you could. But who cares about that when you don't get anime cutscenes, But anyways, I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure what to play. I want a short game to play before I head on to Near again. So I might play Stray after we finish this Phoenix. I know Stray is a fairly short game. I think you can finish it in like 6 hours or something, so that's like 2 streams at best. So I think that would be fine. I guess we'll play it like after we finish Phoenix, right? But yeah, anyways, thanks for hanging out. I know it's a little bit short stream. Actually, no, because it's been 1 and 30 minutes. We usually do 2-hour streams for Phoenix, but I think it will be, anyways. But yeah, anyways, it's a Monday tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you have a good day tomorrow. Sleep well tonight. Have good sleeps. And see you on Wednesday for more Genshin, probably, because that's all we do on Wednesday. Anyways, thanks. See ya. Bye-bye.